Hey, all week we've been talking and retalking about redefining your success. You've probably got some ideas about how to do it, what it means, why it matters. Today we're going to talk about the discoveries that Tom and I have made this week. And Tom's going to give us his definition of success, which he's been teasing all week. I can't wait. All that's coming up next on today's Antidote.
Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegade Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
Hey, Tom.
Good morning. I love how you you don't just do it. You're ready for it. And then for those of you listening to this on the podcast, as you may or may not know, Bob does this little, what would you call it?
Like drum kind of thing with my arm, with my wrists and hands.
Correct. And it's very tight in. It's because obviously the screen is only so wide. And it's interesting when we jump from the intro to this that he's positioned and ready to go. I actually enjoy that.
I'm glad I can bring you enjoyment.
Absolutely.
Hey, it's April Fool's Day.
Oh, it's right. I never really got that much into April Fools. It was never really.
No, I never was either.
Yeah.
It was hard when I was a high school teacher one year.
I imagine.
That there were efforts all day.
Certainly. And people were usually able to catch me because I wasn't paying attention to that.
They got me with, hey, Mr. Graham, the principal wants to see you. Something about something you did yesterday, and there had been a faculty meeting the day before. They totally got me.
That's fair.
So I go to the principal. I'm like, I heard you wanted to talk to me about something that happened yesterday. And she's like, what are you talking about?
April Fools. Yes, indeed. So for those of you out there who are just starting your day with us on our broadcast, be wary of April Fools jokes, because I'm sure there's someone in your life who enjoys that, and they will take every opportunity to try to catch you in an April Fool's joke. So be wary. All right, everyone. Let's all week we have been talking about redefining success, which I think has been a really fascinating conversation. We started with talking about when it's necessary, and then we moved into why it matters. Then we talked about how it comes from inside, which I thought was a really cool conversation. And then Thursday, we worked through what if I get it wrong. And I said that. And if you listen to that episode, you will know that I tried really hard not to use that word, because it's one of those words in my list of, I'm not sure the value of that. So then now we will discuss our discoveries of the week in just a minute. And at the end of the show, Bob and I will share our one discovery of the week. We would encourage you, if you have something to share it in the comments, or every Friday is our Discoveries of the Week post inside our Ring and Renegades Facebook group. So you could always go there and share what you discovered, whether it's about redefining success, or if it's about something else that you discovered this week that might be of value to someone else who has been searching for that one thing that might be able to help them out. So please feel free to go in there and share your discoveries of the week. All right, Bob. So we always start off with our celebrations. What are you celebrating today?
I'm going to celebrate something personal. I had a little medical procedure a couple of days ago, and I was a little worried about it. And it went really well. The medical staff was amazing. The person who took care of me before and after was amazing as well. And it all really just went far better than I was expecting.
Nice.
Yes.
Glad to hear that.
We are blessed in the Baltimore area with great medical care.
That is correct.
I don't think most of us think about it nearly as much as we could or should, but I will tell you, I've had my share. I've always been impressed.
Excellent. great celebration, and we are all celebrating that. Whoa, sorry about that.
Apparently celebrating it so much you wanted to take over. Tom
I
Brush, man in control.
I hit the keyboard and something happened. I was like, well, that's never happened before. Interesting.
Okay. What are you celebrating?
So I'm celebrating that this organization, I don't think I celebrated this earlier this week. This organization that I have done a lot of work for put out an RFP for a strategic plan. And so I am working to finalize that. And so I'm going to celebrate the submission later today of my plan, knowing that I do not, once I submit it, that's all I can control. And that submitting it in and of itself will be a success. So that's my celebration.
I've done a couple RFPs. For those in the audience who don't understand, walk us through what that requires. I mean, that's not just you write your name on a sheet of paper and say, I'd like to help you, right? There's a little planning and prep.
Yes. Yeah. You pretty much, they give you the scope of the project that they are trying to get requests for proposals for, or that they put out as a request for proposals. And then you go through and talk a little bit about how you would complete the scope of that work. And it's interesting. This organization is really interested in the process as well. Sort of like, what are the pillars of your organization? What are the things that you sort of work from and that your work is about? And then how would you bring that to the project, which is interesting. Often it's just about what's the process going to be? How much is it going to cost? And that's pretty much the extent. I think this is a little bit more diving into who the company is that is putting in a proposal and what they stand for as they work through where they want to go in the organization in the future. So I'm going to initially early celebrate the successful submission of that.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And why don't we celebrate collectively April Fool's Day? Because I was thinking about this earlier this morning. April Fool's Day is really a day when we can turn people's opinion about something around. So a really good April Fool's joke, the ones that have been played on me, the people or person who does it really understands me. The students in my class knew that if the principal wanted to talk to me, that would be important to me. They knew that that was going to be the hot button issue. So I could be frustrated that they did that. But I also thought, wow, they really do get me. So if you're the victim of an April Fool's joke, it shows that people pay attention to you and they know you more than just superficially. And I think that's something to celebrate.
I like that. I hadn't thought about it in that way.
I just came to me this morning while I was getting dressed. I'm like, if I can do, because I was trying to think of an April Fool's joke to do with you on this program. And I could not come up with one. And it's not because I don't know you well. It's just the only thing I could come up with is just talking and then start going.
Like you're having internet issues?
Yes. And then let you plug in and not know, and then come back for like 5 seconds, then disappear and just drive you crazy for the next 20 minutes. But I decided not to.
That would have been interesting.
It's
now you can't do it because I already know. No. All right, everyone. And we hope that whatever it is you're celebrating, please feel free if you want to share that in the comments or just share it to yourself so that you are thinking and getting your day started off with the things that you have had success with. So as we talk about that, as celebrations are things that we would have as success, do you want to talk a little bit about some of your discoveries of the week, Bob?
Sure. I would love to. I really realized this week.
You really realized?
I really realized. Yes, I did. Yeah. Apparently that procedure didn't fix my English. Oh, well. I realized that we are constantly redefining our success. If we're really looking at what we've done for what we can learn from it, it's inherently simple to start redefining your success with each thing. Like, well, I did this thing yesterday. What went well? What didn't go as expected? What might I do differently? Okay. Now, based on that, I probably got it wrong.
It's all right. Keep going.
Based on that, I have new knowledge, perspective, experience, and I can apply that if I choose. So what was success yesterday to me? So let me give a concrete example because I think it'll make more sense. I have to give a presentation, a sales pitch. I've got 5 of them scheduled for this week. I do one on Monday and it goes okay. I get through it. It's not polished. I realize I need to prepare better. My slides need to be moving faster. I realize that I need to engage the audience more. I have a choice when I've got to do it with the next group on Tuesday. I can redefine success and incorporate those things I discovered from Monday, or I can keep doing it the way I was doing it Monday. And to me, that's the opportunity here, that really redefining success isn't so much I reached $1 million a year or I sold 80,000 widgets this week. That is a marker of success, of course, but I think a more important marker of success to develop is I did this thing this day, and this is what the results were, and this is what I discovered. I did it the next day knowing that and incorporating new things and constantly adding new things. That's how we grow. That's how we figure things out. If you look at, the best example, Elon Musk and the SpaceX. They crashed that rocket 10 times coming down. It was supposed to land on the barge. It didn't work for 10 times. The 11th time it works. Each time he had a press conference afterwards because it was all public. And he said, we're one step closer.
Mm-hmm.
He knew it was going to take incremental growth, incremental progress. And I think that's something we've got to recognize is we've got to take incremental steps to achieve things. So redefining success to me is, what does success look like for this program today? What does it look like for Monday? And as we've evolved with this program over the last 2 years, because I watched one of the first episodes the other day, we've taken a lot of lessons that we've learned and applied it in powerful ways. We didn't do discoveries of the week for the first, 9-10 months?
Yep.
But someone suggested to us and it was like, oh, that's a great idea. That became part of it. So redefining success to me is, wow, we're constantly striving to build whatever it is we're trying to do better and better and better to achieve the goals that we've set out to achieve. How's that?
I like it because it's yours. And I think that's, to me, the beauty of it is, like we talked about on Wednesday, I think, was that it's got to come from inside, right? What I think is success doesn't necessarily matter for you. It may have an impact, might not. Really, we have to define our own success. And that when someone else defines success for us, and I think this is one of the biggest challenges, is that when someone goes and says, this is how you'll have success is when you do this. Well, what if that's something that we're not passionate about, or something that matters to us, or something that we even have an interest in? That becomes the challenges that we face, is when someone else defines our success. And so I think that if that's the way you want to look at success, I think it's awesome. I think that as I think about success, as I've gone through my life, I think I have redefined it based on what I knew at the time. And I often think that I had to go through all the things that I went through to get a better understanding of what I truly wanted success to be. And it's in that discovery that has allowed me to redefine what success was, because I gained new knowledge, experience, and perspective. And one of the perspectives that really struck with me, and I know I've probably shared this on the show before, but I'll share it again, is there's a very famous, if you follow basketball coach, John Wooden, who is now deceased. And here's someone who won 10 straight NCAA championships. And his definition of success was, success is a peace of mind, which is a direct result of self-satisfaction in knowing you made the effort to become the best of which you are capable. And I think that and I would imagine that was not his initial definition of success. Probably at some point in his life, success was winning the national championship. And I think what he discovered were there are so many things that come into play that it just so happens they won 10 in a row, and they very easily, with the different bounce of a ball, a different call made by an official, a different action by an opponent or a player, different choice being made, that wouldn't necessarily have happened. Things that were completely out of his and sometimes his team's control. And so I think as he grew, he started to realize that that type of success will only lead to challenges, frustration, judgment on what we did and what we didn't do, rather than learning, and I think that's what you're talking about, is that the opportunity not to judge your results, you kind of take them and move forward with them, and then share them and figure out how that impacts who you are. And it's interesting. I wrote about this in LinkedIn yesterday in a LinkedIn article I wrote. And some of the people who responded to it, and I asked them to define success. How do they define success? And some people said it was based a little bit on, like one person said, watching my clients grow and flourish from the work that we've done. I said, okay. Another person shared that as they make bigger improvements, this person is somebody involved in health coaching. And one of the things I shared with them was, what happens if they don't?
Right.
Is that now no longer a success? Or and what often typically happens, I think, with sometimes things like coaching, is they don't always get it right away, or they are not ready or willing to hear it. They thought they were. And then what they hear isn't what they really wanted to hear. And so now they don't necessarily, the lessons or the information that you share hasn't impacted them. And sometimes we would look at that and see, well, they didn't make a big enough improvement, and so I didn't really have success. And one of the things I wrote back and asked them to consider is, maybe you could consider just the fact that you shared it with them, and now it has impacted their life. Right. And who knows, somewhere down the road, they may have new knowledge, experience, and perspective and be like, well, wait a minute. 3 years ago, I was working with this coach, and this coach said this, this, and this. That actually makes some sense. And it helps them it now is impacting them differently. And so the results are different. And so I think when we base our success on the results of others that we can't control, it can be easy. And I would imagine both of those coaches, if someone did not grow the way they thought they would, they were starting to judge the actions that they took with them, which they can't really control the results. So I think that's for me, as I've developed, why I've started to refocus and change a little bit about what my definition is. Is there some sense in that?
Yes. And sometimes it doesn't work the way you would expect, Tom.
Most times.
I have a person who, I guess for one of the better phrases, a therapist that I go to regularly. Mm-hmm. And she and I were talking a couple of days ago, and I was thanking her for all that she had done, just in case something happened to me with this procedure and I didn't come out on the other side. And she said to me, I want to thank you. You've changed how I do my job, how I deal with my family, how I deal with my children in really profound ways. So here I am, the patient, and the person who is supposed to be helping me has been helped by me. And I think we don't factor that into this, that sometimes it's not a one-way street always, that if you're trying to achieve your goal, you could be trying to achieve your goal, whatever it is, and I could be trying to achieve my goal. I may say something to you in passing that suddenly you're like, whoa, I had no idea. Like I was in a golf course pro shop a couple years ago, and I heard two guys talking about a book, The Inner Game of Golf. And they were talking about how it changed how they played and it calmed them down. I go, I buy the book, I read the book. The book was brilliant. They have no idea that they influenced me. None whatsoever, but it changed how I look at the game. And we have that happen all the time. We're influenced by everything that happens. You know, how many times do you have that moment where you're watching TV or you're driving and then you're like, ding, I just figured out a problem. That isn't just your mind doing it. That's your mind incorporating all that information that's been coming in and finally putting it together in a package and saying, here's the output. I finally made sense of it in a new way.
Yes.
And that can take a minute, that can take a week, that can take a year, that can take a lifetime.
Absolutely.
And I think that's where the older I get, the more I'm looking for success is less dependent on me and more dependent on other people, the people around me, how I influence them, how
Do
I
you
make a
control that?
difference in other people's lives.
Do you
Not in my
control how
own.
much you influence them?
Right, right,
You don't, right?
right.
So,
But having the opportunities to.
now those are things you can control.
Right. So putting myself in positions with nieces and nephews where someone would say, hey, you know what? You probably shouldn't have that discussion. I'm not afraid to have those hard discussions with my nieces and nephews. I'm not afraid to have those hard discussions with my clients. I'm not afraid to have a hard discussion with you. And I know you're not afraid to have hard discussions with people, because that's often where the most growth comes, not just for them, but for you and for me.
Certainly. Absolutely. I think that is, and would you define that as success?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you want me to share my definition?
Go ahead. It wasn't John Wooden's?
No, it's based on that a little bit. So
Oh, okay. All right. I thought that was yours. Okay. Go ahead.
No, it's been mine for a long time though. When I first read that, it's really resonated with me.
Okay.
And because there was something about, and I love the concept of peace of mind, because I think so often as we strive for success, there's very little peace of mind. And I think there's something about that to me is valuable. So I stole that part of it.
Okay.
Is that allowable? Can you have your own definition?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're bringing different knowledge, experience, and perspectives into your own understanding.
Okay. So mine is success is peace of mind that comes from doing the best that I can with the knowledge, experience, and perspective that I have, and the comfort of allowing what is real for me to be impacted by others.
You're going to have to put that in the comments, or you're going to have to put that on the Facebook group, because I need to see that and play with it. I like that.
Here's what I like about it, because it's a lot about what you talked about. You talked about the example of doing a presentation 5 times in a row. You have no idea what the results are going to be before you do it the first time.
Correct.
So you only have a certain knowledge, experience, and perspective. And so you did the best that you could do, right? And to be able to walk away from that and say, you know what? I did the best that I could do at the time, given what I knew and what I had experienced and what my perspective was. Once I've done it, now it's changed. So I get to do it again. And if I do it again and understand that, one, it will never be perfect, because I don't, personally, for me, I don't believe there is perfect. So I'm always going to, every action I take, if I can walk away from it and say, okay, what did I learn? And what new knowledge, experience have I gained? Because I did the best that I could do with what I had done. And that gives me peace of mind. And what I think is the key, the other half of that is the comfort of allowing what's real for me to be changed. That I'm okay with that. That I go through, and if I share something like that and somebody comes up and offers feedback, thoughts, ideas, that I'm comfortable in it, that could, in a small way or in a very significant way, impact what is real for me. And that sort of the peace of mind on the one side and the comfort of knowing that it's okay, that I don't know everything there is to know about everything, and that others are going to share it, and that my willingness to accept what people have to share, to me, is success. I'll put it in the comments. I
think we should probably wrap it up there. There's my head is spinning. Oh, good. You put it in the comments. Awesome.
Yeah. Something that, just, again, that's what's real for me. And as we talk about, is what comes from inside. And I think it's helpful for all of us to have an idea of what does that look like.
Read it again, Tom, because it's long, and go in segments, because there was a lot to grab hold of.
Success is peace of mind that comes from doing the best that I can with the knowledge, experience, and perspective that I have, and the comfort of allowing what is real for me to be impacted by others.
Okay.
So for me, it's peace of mind and comfort.
Mm-hmm. Well, and also impact from others, right?
Correct. And that really is, and to me, it's the comfort of that I don't have to have all the answers. I don't have to be perfect. I am what I am, again, based on what I know. When someone else shares it.
If someone wants to read it, it's now on the screen for a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
All right. You ready to wrap this up?
I am. I think thanks so much.
You've given us something pretty major to chew on.
Well, and again, my thought is that just like what John Wooden's quote did for me, it would encourage others to think about what is theirs, and that there may be bits and pieces of that and that might work or might not, or might get them to just say, maybe there's a way to think about my definition differently. Because one of the things I know is that I believe that this definition will help me stop judging my results. And again, as I said, so often those are things we can't control. These are the things that I can control, is that I'm trying to do the best I can. And that I also know I don't have all the answers, and that people are going to share things that are going to impact me, and that's okay.
Okay.
So we'd love to hear your definition of success. If you'd like to share it, please feel free. You can put it in the comments, or you can share it inside our Ring of Renegades Facebook group. Maybe that's your discovery of the week, or maybe there's another one. If you're not yet a member of our Ring of Renegades Facebook group, it's easy to do.
What's wrong with you? Go there.
They didn't have that knowledge, experience, and perspective yet.
Fair.
Now they know about it. Maybe it's the first time they've ever listened to our episodes. So it's easy to go to Facebook, search for Ring of Renegades, and just ask to join. And you can become a part of our growing community right now of over 1,200 strong, as we help them find their own unique pathway to success, however they define that success to be. So we look forward to seeing you inside there, or we'll see you on Monday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern time, for our next edition of Today's Antidote. Have a great day, everyone.
Hey, embrace the renegading you and think about what success is for you. Define it. It'll help you.
Not play an April Fool's joke on somebody.
No.
All right. Have a good weekend, everyone. We'll see you on Monday. Thanks for listening to Today's Antidote, powered by the Renegade Success Network. The Renegade Success Network helps you confidently create your own unique pathway to success. To learn more about the Renegade Success Network and how you can take your next step, follow us on Twitter, connect on LinkedIn, or join the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. For full details on how you can join our community, go to renegadesuccessnetwork.com. Embrace the renegade in you.